Are you the kind of person who knows when you're being lied to? I don't know if any of us know the answer to that question. I got catfished publicly one time, and I was one of the last people to know. So I hardly can say that I'm somebody who never gets duped. But this interview has been going around right-wing social media. It happened about a month ago, but it's really taking off now. And I'm wondering why so many others aren't seeing it for what it is. I haven't seen such puff piecery since Kim Jong-un made 18 hole-in-ones. Post-edit, it was Kim Jong-il, and it was 11 hole-in-ones, and it's about as believable as these stories. These stories are so obviously fake that I'm left with the conclusion that people just don't want to know the truth. Your first clue that this interview isn't something you should take seriously should have happened when you saw the host. This is Tyrus. Tyrus, I swear to God, is a former WWE wrestler who has been on Fox News a few times. And that's it. That's the qualifications. I promise you, go look it up. Those are his qualifications. He was a wrestler. He was a bodyguard for Snoop Dogg. Then he was on Fox News. And maybe you're saying, how did that person get on the air? And I'll tell you, it's Fox News. And all Fox News wants is somebody recognizable who has a personality who will read what's in front of them. Now, I can only imagine Trump's team was involved in writing the questions for this interview because the questions not only are leading, but lead you to conclusions that are so obviously not real that I start to question my own sanity. Here's an example.
Nelson Mandela and 80 of his constituents were trying to come to the United States.
Yeah.
The United States government wasn't helping him. No one was helping him. You chartered a 727 plane for their entire trip.
Yeah.
How is somebody, and that's crazy because you can talk about anything, and why is it hard for you to talk about the things you've done?
This flight did happen, and this flight did happen on Trump's plane, and Nelson Mandela left South Africa and came to the United States. And all Tyrus is trying to do is tell the American people, the Fox News viewer, that Donald Trump is a great man. He's somebody who does generous things for people, specifically in this case, a black person, and he doesn't want praise for it. And I would think that was admirable if it wasn't completely made up. Donald Trump and Nelson Mandela were not friends. Donald Trump didn't call Nelson Mandela and say, "What do you need?" Nelson Mandela was scrambling to find a plane to get he and some of his people to America. And on such short notice, it was hard to find a plane. One of the last calls that Mandela's team made was to Trump shuttles. If you haven't heard of Trump shuttles, it's because like every business Trump has ever started that his dad didn't hand to him, it folded. And it folded remarkably fast, like less than 2 years in existence fast. When Mandela's team called Trump Shuttle said, all of our planes are in operation, except for we have these 2 planes that we don't use for commercial purposes. You could rent one of those. So Mandela's team chartered Trump's plane for $130,000 and flew to the United States. That's the whole story. Donald Trump is a hero in the same way that American Airlines was a hero for flying me to Mexico last month. They just did their job. They took my money and they gave me the service that I paid for. But again, Fox News seems to have an agenda that they want to paint Donald Trump as not a racist and somebody with a big, generous heart. Unfortunately, every story that Tyrus tells and then offers a follow-up question on is a lie, just like this story.
You donated $100,000 to raise dogs? You're not even a dog guy.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Dogs are treated very badly. I don't know that much about dogs, but I want to take care of them. And I had an opportunity. You know, as president, you can do a lot of things. I did a lot. The size of the kennels, the size of the cage. You know, there's like cages that they're in. And it's terrible. It's like you have no room, no nothing. And she came in with a whole group of people. These are people that really fight hard for dogs.
Lara Trump works with a dog rescue. It's called Big Dog Rescue Ranch. And Big Dog Rescue Ranch did get $100,000 with a signature from Donald Trump at the bottom. That money didn't come from Donald Trump, though. It came from his charity. He took money from his charity and moved it to his daughter-in-law's charity. That wasn't his money. And just in case you have a short memory, that charity that paid Lara Trump's charity got shut down because it was being used as a piggy bank by the Trumps and not as a charity. It was a fraudulent scam charity. Not $100,000 out of Donald Trump's pocket. And fine, technicality be damned. But why don't you tell the rest of the story where this exact charity has spent almost $2 million at Mar-a-Lago to host fundraisers? $2 million. Donald Trump gave away $100,000 of someone else's money to a charity who has paid him $2 million. And you want me to say, oh, why don't they ever talk about what a great guy you are?
I think it's a narrative that they don't like, frankly. I think the fake news, a term I think I came up with. I'm very proud.
Oh, you did. You coined it.
It's not
you
tough.
should probably trademarked it, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, I should
I'm not going to give you business tips.
But
Spoiler alert, the reason he can't trademark it and the reason he hasn't trademarked it is not because he doesn't care. It's because he didn't start it. In fact, the term fake news was coined by a man named Craig Silverman, who was researching, among other things, the type of fake news that was swirling around Donald Trump. For example, in the small town of Elais in Macedonia, a population of 45,000 people, they had a little mini gold rush. And what was that mini gold rush? It was posting fake news in favor of Donald Trump. What they found out is if they told stories making Hillary Clinton look bad, or they told stories that made Donald Trump look good, they made money. And so they started posting fake news all over the internet about Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And Craig Silverman coined the term fake news. And this doesn't only happen with Donald Trump. It's used to attack liberals all over the world. In Canada, there were 2 high school kids that were making thousands of dollars posting fake stories like this about Justin Trudeau. And you know what's devastating about this whole thing? Here you have Tyrus, an actual strongman, somebody who actually worked for what they earned and somebody who's actually made a career. Now, I don't think he should be covering politics, but he actually worked for it. And he's groveling at the feet of a spoon-fed, trust fund baby, draft dodging business failure. But Republicans can't admit that. They've got to make him out to be something he isn't so they can justify everything that he is.